It was a rainy Saturday afternoon when Jamie stumbled upon an old VHS tape at the local thrift store. The cover was plain except for a hand scroll label that read The Archive. Jamie, a nostalgia junkie and retro technology enthusiast, couldn't resist. She purchased the tape for $1 and hurried home to watch it. Jamie's living room was filled with relics of the past, an old rotary phone, vinyl records, and a bulky CRT TV. She dusted off her VHS player, inserted the tape, and hit play. The screen flickered to life with static before settling on a grainy image of a nondescript office room. The footage seemed mundane until the first jump cut. The scene abruptly switched to a different angle, showing a middle-aged man seated at a desk, staring directly into the camera. His expression was eerily blank, and his eyes seemed to follow Jamie as she watched. The man introduced himself as Dr. Harold Lava and began to describe an experiment conducted in the early 90s, designed to explore the limits of human consciousness. Dr. Lava explained that participants were subjected to prolonged exposure to certain frequencies of sound and light patterns intended to unlock hidden areas of the mind. As he spoke, the video quality deteriorated and strange, almost imperceptible whispers filled the background. Jamie's skin prickled as the whispers grew louder, forming barely audible words. "Join us. Find the truth." She felt an uneasy pull, as if the tape was speaking directly to her. Despite her growing discomfort, she couldn't bring herself to stop the tape. The video transitioned to interviews with the experiment's participants. Each person appeared increasingly disheveled and paranoid, their eyes wide with fear. One by one, they described experiencing vivid, horrifying visions of shadowy figures and grotesque landscapes. They spoke of a place they called the Archive, a vast, nightmarish library of lost memories and forbidden knowledge. As the interviews progressed, Jamie noticed a disturbing pattern. Each participant would suddenly freeze mid-sentence, their expressions twisting into grotesque masks of terror before the video cut to black. These cuts were always accompanied by a jarring, high-pitched screech that made Jamie's ears ring. She paused the tape, her hands trembling. The atmosphere in her apartment felt heavier, almost oppressive. She glanced at her phone and saw that hours had passed, though it felt like mere minutes. Determined to uncover the truth, she pressed play again. The next segment was a compilation of surveillance footage from the experiment's facility. The images were distorted and flickered with static, showing the participants wandering through dimly lit hallways and rooms. Their expressions were vacant, as if they were sleepwalking. Occasionally, they would stop and stare at something just off camera, their eyes wide with horror. Jamie leaned closer, trying to discern what they were seeing. Suddenly, the screen filled with a blinding white light, followed by a brief glimpse of a towering figure with elongated limbs and hollow, glowing eyes. Jamie's heart raced as she rewound the tape to get a better look, but the figure was gone. The footage continued, showing the participants growing more agitated and violent. They scratched at their skin until it bled, tore at their hair, and screamed at invisible tormentors. Dr. Lava's voiceover detailed their descent into madness. noting that the experiment had been abruptly terminated after several participants went missing. Jamie's unease deepened as the video cut to a new scene, a police report detailing the disappearance of Dr. Lava and his entire team. The report was dated July 1994 and mentioned that the facility had been abandoned with no trace of the missing persons. The camera panned over crime scene photos, showing bloodstains, shattered equipment, and cryptic symbols scrawled on the walls. As Jamie watched, the symbols on the screen began to pulse and glow, almost as if they were alive. She felt a sharp pain in her head and heard the whispers again, louder this time. "Join us, find the truth." She clutched her temples, trying to block out the noise, but it was relentless. Desperate, she ejected the tape and threw it across the room. The whispers stopped instantly, leaving her in oppressive silence. Determined to understand what she had seen, Jamie turned to the internet. She searched for any information about Dr. Lava and the experiment, but found nothing. It was as if they had been erased from history. Frustrated, she posted about her experience on a retro tech forum, hoping someone might know more. A user named Archivist responded almost immediately, claiming to have information about the experiment. He sent Jamie a series of old newspaper clippings and government documents, revealing that the archive was rumored to be a clandestine project funded by a secretive organization known only as the Order. According to the documents, the Order sought to unlock the secrets of the human mind to gain unimaginable power. The experiment was their most ambitious project, but it had gone horribly wrong. The participants had inadvertently opened a gateway to another dimension, a place of unimaginable horror. The archivist warned Jamie to destroy the tape and forget what she had seen, but curiosity got the better of her. She asked for more information, and the archivist reluctantly agreed to meet in person. Jamie met the archivist at a rundown cafe on the outskirts of town. He was an older man with a haunted look in his eyes. He handed her a thick folder of documents and told her the truth. The tape was a conduit to the archive, and anyone who watched it risked being pulled into its nightmarish realm. He revealed that he had been part of the Order and had narrowly escaped their clutches. He had spent years tracking down and destroying the remaining tapes, but some had slipped through the cracks. Jamie's tape was one of the last. The archivist begged Jamie to destroy the tape and warned her that the Order would stop at nothing to reclaim it. He left abruptly, leaving Jamie alone with the documents and a growing sense of dread. Back at her apartment, Jamie pored over the documents. They detailed the true purpose of the archive: to harvest and store the memories and souls of those who entered, creating a repository of forbidden knowledge. The participants' visions were not hallucinations. They were glimpses into the archive's horrific reality. The more Jamie read, the more she felt the archive's pull. She heard the whispers again, now clearer. "Join us, find the truth." She glanced at the tape, still lying where she had thrown it. Against her better judgment, she inserted it back into the VHS player and pressed play. The screen flickered to life, showing Dr. Lava's office once more. This time his expression was different, more desperate. He spoke directly to Jamie, as if aware of her presence. He revealed that the Order had found a way to enter the archive and were using it to gain control over those who watched the tapes. He begged Jamie to destroy the tape before it was too late. But before he could say more, the screen distorted, and the towering figure with glowing eyes appeared. It spoke in a deep, resonant voice, promising Jamie power and knowledge beyond her wildest dreams if she joined them. The whispers grew louder, urging her to accept the offer. Jamie felt a powerful compulsion to obey, her mind teetering on the edge of madness. She fought against it, but the pull was too strong. Summoning every ounce of willpower, Jamie ejected the tape and smashed it with a hammer. The whispers stopped abruptly, and she felt the oppressive weight lift from her mind. But the damage was done. She knew the Order would come for her. She packed a bag and fled her apartment, leaving behind everything she owned. As she drove away, she saw dark figures in her rearview mirror, watching her from the shadows. Jamie moved from town to town, never staying in one place for too long. She remained vigilant, always watching for signs of the Order. Despite her efforts, she knew she could never truly escape the archive's influence. Years later, a new post appeared on the Retro Tech Forum. It was from a user named Archivist, warning of a cursed VHS tape titled The Archive. He urged anyone who found it to destroy it immediately. Jamie knew it was only a matter of time before someone else found the tape. And so the cycle would begin again, as the archive's dark legacy continued to spread, claiming new victims and adding to its endless repository of horrors. Thank you for tuning in. Please leave a like and subscribe. I will see you again next week.